Have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on in someone's head when they just walk away from an argument? It's one of those behaviors that can be incredibly frustrating, but it's also psychologically fascinating. And today, we're going to get right into it.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're in the middle of a really intense discussion, you're laying out your point, and then poof, they just turn around and leave the room. No conclusion, no we'll talk later, nothing.
You're just left there, hanging, and that silence is just deafening. It's confusing, it's frustrating, and let's be honest, it can feel infuriating. So what does it mean? Are they trying to punish you? Are they just mad? Well, the truth is, it's complicated.
See, that single act of walking away, it's like a fork in the road. It can lead down one of two completely different psychological paths. One path is all about punishment, while the other is about preservation. Let's really unpack what that means.
Okay, think about it like this. For some people, silence is absolutely a weapon. It's something they use to get control, to make you feel anxious or guilty, basically to win. But for a whole other group of people, silence is a shield. It's a way to protect themselves and honestly to protect the relationship from things getting even worse. It's the exact same action, but the intentions behind them are polar opposites.
All right, so let's walk down that first path, the one that, our brains usually jump to first. We're talking about the dreaded silent treatment. This is when silence is being used as a weapon.
So when you see these hallmarks, you're looking at a classic passive-aggressive move. The point here isn't to solve anything. The goal is to punish, to make the other person hurt. By just refusing to talk, the person giving the silent treatment creates this huge power imbalance. Suddenly they're in control and you're left scrambling. It's basically a way to declare victory in an argument without ever having to take any responsibility.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. When silence is a strategy, the goal isn't peace, it's victory. It's not about finding common ground. It's a calculated tactic and a power game, where one person's silence is meant to force the other person to just give in.
But now let's look at the other side of the coin. And this isn't about manipulation at all. In fact, it's often a sign of high emotional intelligence. This is when walking away is an act of self-preservation. It's using silence as a shield. So, to really get this, we have to talk about something called psychological overload. Imagine your brain is a computer with too many tabs open. In a heated argument, you can get so flooded with emotions and information that your brain just crashes. It can't process anymore. This triggers our ancient fight, flight, or freeze response. And for some people, flight, literally walking away, feels like the only option to prevent fight.
And this is the absolute key. When someone who's emotionally regulated walks away, they're not trying to punish you. Their goal is to stop themselves from saying or doing something really damaging in the heat of the moment. They're creating that space to separate that intense emotion from a destructive action.
And a healthy disengagement, it looks totally different from the silent treatment. It's actually a process. First, the person recognizes those internal alarm bells are going off. I'm getting overwhelmed. Step 2, and this is so important, they actually tell you. They say something like, look, I'm getting too upset to think straight. I need a break. Then they physically leave. But here's the final crucial step. They make a plan to come back to the conversation. They're not abandoning the issue. They're just hitting pause.
So here we are at the million-dollar question, right? In that moment, when someone's walking away, how on earth are you supposed to know the difference? Are you getting the silent treatment? Or are they just trying to take care of themselves and the relationship?
Well, this table really lays it all out. It all comes down to a few key things. First, what's the intent? Is it to hurt or is it to protect? Second, look at the communication. Was it a sudden, cold departure with no explanation? Or did they say, I need some space? And finally, look at the outcome. The weapon, the silent treatment, it always escalates things and breaks trust. But the shield, setting a boundary, actually de-escalates the fight and in the long run, builds trust.
So the next time this happens, just take a breath. Understanding this difference really can change everything. It helps you see past that initial sting and ask the right question. Is this silence a door being slammed in my face, or is it a window being opened to let some fresh air in? Is it an attack, or is it an act of care? Thanks so much for diving into this with me.